Hello everyone, welcome back to my YouTube channel. I am Alinga Sise of Urban Harvest Organic Farm. For all of you who have subscribed to my YouTube channel, I am so grateful. And for those who are still new, please kindly consider subscribing to the YouTube channel. Click on the notification bell so that you never miss out any upload. Today I'm super excited because finally our birds have made it to 8 weeks. Guys, we are now barely left with only eight more weeks for this bird to start laying eggs. But if we all remember the very first day when we brought these birds, guys, we can't believe that they have now grown like this. They are now left with only 8 weeks to start laying eggs. That's why I told you that with layer farming, patience pays. So imagine we have at least covered a half of the period when these birds are supposed to start laying eggs. And be reminded that currently we have 970 layers in this farm, and this is a project that we have not got any loan from anywhere. We started from scratch. After when I made a very big loss in poultry farming, I decided to start afresh, and that is why I work so hard to make sure this farm succeeds. So many of you by the ask me if I have other jobs that I do alongside poultry farming, but honestly, poultry farming, I'm doing it full time, and it's not that I am doing it alone. I have a colleague that I work with. She helps me do most of the work inside the farm. So for you to be successful, there are a few tips that you must have. So today I'm going to share with you some of my secrets to successful poultry farming. But before we do that, let us follow the tradition. We first go feed the birds. We have to settle them because we haven't yet fed the birds. So let's go straight inside the farm. But please stay tuned till the end. Let's watch the video up to the end, and kindly don't forget to give the video a thumbs up. So let's go inside the farm. Be reminded that biosecurity is very important in poultry farming. And last time I told you that this time we have not mixed these feeds with charcoal. Guys, these are our birds, very active. Wow. And these are 675 layers here. The older ones are 295 in numbers. So that makes the total number of layers that we have currently to be 970 birds. I think we have to switch off the lights first. Birds can be stubborn. Guys, you can see how the birds are very stubborn. So guys, finally we are done feeding the birds, and actually we have now some birds that are here sunbathing. You can see they're right there. They really enjoy sunbathing a lot, and I think it is good for these birds. And with our photo feeders that we've added, all the birds now can feed comfortably very, very well. And I think we are not going to add more feeders inside here because I see there is no more space for adding feeders. In the drinking water, we are still having our solution for the chronic respiratory disease, of which we have garlic, turmeric, ginger, and the chili peppers that I have mixed there. I remember on Sunday I told you that we are going to add more 2 days in the treatment, but honestly currently all the birds are very, very okay, just like you also. And be reminded that we have now made it to 8 weeks and we are left with 10 weeks. In the beginning I told you 8 weeks for this bird start laying eggs, so that means the birds will start laying at 16 weeks, but let us give it up to 18 weeks, so that makes it 10 weeks left for these birds to start laying eggs. And currently we have inside this chicken house, we have 675 layers, and the laying birds are 295 birds. But remember, those ones that are laying were 400 in numbers, but we kept eliminating others even died along the way. Then here we brought 716 birds, but you know we lost so many other birds, so many birds in the brooder. And then currently we have the 675 birds inside here. I'm so excited because at least from those birds we have been able to have these birds. And then before I move forward, last time someone asked me about those windows that I left. I made a video. Okay, in one of the videos I talked about it, but I think the person didn't watch that video. So I again want to tell you more why I left those windows, but I'm sure most of you are already aware of this. Now when these birds start laying eggs, I really want us to be putting the feeds through those windows. That's why you see I've put the feeders. So many of you are wondering why the feeders are there. For those who didn't understand why I left the windows, I have put the feeders there simply because when the birds start laying eggs, I do not want to come inside here to feed the birds. The first phase of the feeds, I want to be opening those windows, and I pour the feeds into those feeders through the windows. Simply because in the beginning we also how the birds were so packed at the door. Okay, so when the birds start laying eggs and you're getting inside there and the birds are packed like that, any mistake can happen. You can easily kick on the bird, you can easily step on the bird and it gets broken. And when you kick on the bird and an egg breaks inside, that is also another problem. So that is why I want, when the birds mature and they start laying eggs, we shall be putting the feeders through those windows. So that is why I left those windows. Honestly, when these birds are old and they're already laying eggs and anything happens to them, or maybe their feet gets broken, or maybe you step on their back, for that bird to get back to laying can even take you like 8 weeks. Okay, of which that is not the loss that we want to enter into. So that is why I decided to leave those windows. Now I have managed to upgrade this farm from that, you can see the chicken house, from that to this farm. I started this project in 2019, of which by 2020 I had around 2,500 layers, of which, since I was still a beginner, I didn't have any knowledge about the project. I didn't even know people to consult. I just loved the project since I was young, and I just decided to venture into it without any knowledge. I made a very big loss, and that is how I ended up bringing the 400 layers, of which currently there are 295. If not because of the love and the passion that I had, or that I have for this project, I would have quitted poultry farming long time ago. But I am so grateful that at least currently we have all these numbers of birds, and I see the future is bright. So one thing that I decided to do, that I want to share with you, is to be full-time doing this project. Some of you are asking me whether I have other things that I do. Of course, as an elder, there are other few things that I do as a mother, as a wife, as assist her. You know, I have other things that I do, but majorly, my main project is this poultry farming and layers specifically. I really want to specialize in poultry farming and see how far I can go. Let's say 5 years from today. So I have decided to be full-time. So if you want to be successful in this project, okay, try to be full-time. Just try it to be full-time, because when you're full-time, at least when the work, okay, it doesn't mean you should not have workers, because you will not, like, you can't manage doing all this work alone. Okay, I always feed the birds, give them the drinking water to demonstrate to you what you're supposed to do. Okay, but you cannot do this work alone. You need at least helpers. So even me, I have someone who helps me do some of the work. But you, as the owner of the farm, be present. Even if you're not the one putting the feeds, be inside the farm, see how they are putting the feeds. Be inside the farm, see how they are giving them the drinking water. If you're never there, trust me, so many messes can happen in the farm, and you will end up having low production, because these birds are so sensitive. So sensitive, be it the broilers or the layers. With the broilers, if you don't give them enough feeds, enough drinking water, trust me, they will not pick on the weight. With the layers, if you don't give them enough feeds, enough drinking water, you scare them, you step on them, you'll end up losing a lot. So that is one secret that I want you to know. I have decided to do this project full-time. Another thing that you must know is that I have decided to follow the guidelines. Okay? Following the guidelines, because with these birds, they tell us that you must give them the right feeds. You must give them enough drinking water. Honestly, you will not come inside this farm and you will find, especially this particular flock, you find them without drinking water. Okay? This particular flock, I am really measuring the feeds accordingly. And I'm changing their feeds the way it is supposed to be. Like last time I gave you the feed formulation that currently I am using. And now that they have made it to 8 weeks, we are going to change it. I gave you all this formulation. I am making sure I follow those guidelines perfectly well. If you see the chicken house right now, it is not crowded. Honestly, this chicken house is not crowded. Even when the birds grow, we shall see that the chicken house is not crowded. Trust me, I have decided that I'm not going to crowd this chicken house, because I really want to see the outcome. And then with the herbal remedies, I am really making sure I am consistent, and I'm really sharing with you every day what is going on in this farm. I am doing that not because I really love making these videos. It is also not easy to make these videos, to come and talk. You know, it is not easy. But just because I want you to follow these birds up to the last day. Okay, up to the day that they are going to start laying eggs. This will at least help someone out there who maybe do not have time to visit other people's farms, who do not have time to get other farmers' contacts. You get. So, I have decided to follow the guidelines with these birds. I am doing the vaccination very well. I remember in the beginning, I really didn't want to vaccinate the birds. But most of you told me, Aling and Sisi, remember, this is your recovery farm. You have lost so many birds and millions of shillings before. So risking not to vaccinate them will be a very big blunder to the project. So that is why I decided to follow the advice. And that's why I decided to vaccinate the birds. And actually in this 8th week, I think we are doing fall typhoid vaccination. And then after fall typhoid, the beaking is coming along the way. Fall pox is coming. So I have really decided to follow the guidelines with this project. Okay? So, and then also, of course, there are some things that I do, like during the daytime. I feed the birds in the morning like this. Around midday, I come back, check the birds. Around 4, I come check the birds. So make sure you continuously come and check your birds, how they are doing, as the owner of the farm. make sure that water do not pour inside the chicken house. Those are some of the guidelines that they give us. Okay, make sure the chicken house is not smelling. That is why I normally put the drum there. Some of you might ask me, Alinga, why are you putting the drum there? My roof is leaking from somewhere there. The way it was, okay, in the beginning, it wasn't leaking at all. But I think when the guys for wiring did their work, I don't know whether it is disturbed it a bit. So if it is raining, water pours there, just pouring. So that's why I don't want now anyone to go up on the roof. So that's why I decided to be putting that drum here. And whenever it rains, honestly, a lot of water accumulates inside that water drum. So I am making sure the chicken house is dry, completely dry. Okay, so those are some of the things that as a beginner or as a farmer who maybe tried the project and failed, you're supposed to do. And then when you see any bird not okay, try to start looking for solutions immediately. Last time our feeds were contaminated and you guys, the birds were really sneezing. We ended up losing one bird. 2 or 3 birds were really not looking fine, but we treated them. So that is the power of identifying a problem early and sorting it early enough. Okay? Those are some of the things that you must know as a farmer or as a beginner in this project. When you just see one bird sneeze like this, immediately find out what is the problem. These herbal remedies are there. Start giving them right away. Okay? So those are some of the things that I want you to know. Those are some of the things that I am doing here. So for you to be successful, please try to follow some of these things. So for today, that is all I had for you. Thank you so much for watching. Thank you so much for always coming back. Thank you so much for all your wonderful love and support. But if you're still new, please consider subscribing to the YouTube channel. Click on the notification bell so that you never miss out any upload. Share this video, comment in the comment section down below, and I'll be so grateful. See you next time. I love you all. Bye-bye.